Okay, put the iPads away. If we do patterns of exponents, I'll just start with the 2's, very easy to do. Working your way down, 2 to the 6th, remember, is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. It's 6 of them multiplied, which is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Then 2 to the 5th would be 5 of them. Oops. Which is 32. 2 to the 4th, 16. 2 cubed is 8. 2 squared is 4. 2 to the 1st is 2. Okay, if we did the 3's, I'll just start at 3 to the 4th. 3 to the 4th is 81. 3 cubed is 27. 3 squared is 9. 3 to the 1st is 3. Now, what happens when you take the answers of these, as the exponents go down 1, what happens each time to its answer? It just divides by 2, right? So the same thing, that works for any number. This one, 3 to the 4th to 3 to the 3rd, you would divide it by 3. So, using that same pattern, what would 2 to the 0 equal?
0. 1.
2 divided by 2 is 1. So what would 3 to the 0 equal?
3. 1.
Following the same pattern. So now that we've learned that, if I gave you 73 to the 0 power, what's the answer going to be? 1. Anything to the 0 power is always 1. X to the 0 is 1. If you have anything in parentheses, raised to the 0, everything's to the 0, so it's 1. Okay? So that's the first thing, is that anything to the 0 power will always be 1. Now, if we followed this pattern, this is going down 1 each time, so what would come after 2 to the 0? Negative 1, and then negative 2, and negative 3, and so on.
Wow.
So same thing here, 3 to negative 1, 3 to negative 2, 3 to negative 3. Okay, so following this pattern, what would 2 to the negative 1 be?
Negative 2. Wait, 5.
Oh!
Remember what I said? You're not going to have decimals for these. These are always going to be in fractions. 1/2. 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. Okay? If you do this on your calculator, there's always about 3 or 4 people that don't listen when I say this, and so they get it wrong on the test. You can do it on the calculator if you want, you'll just get it wrong. You need to know how to do it this way. So just punch it in the calculator is not going to give you the right answer. So then following the pattern here, what's 1/2 divided by 2? What's half of a half? 1/4. And then what's 1/4 divided by 2? 1/8. So then following this is going to be 1/3, 1/9, 1/27. So looking at this, 2 to the negative 1 is just the inverse of 2 to the positive 1. 2 to the negative 3 is the inverse of 2 to the positive third. 3 to the negative third is the inverse of that. So, 4 cubed is 64. So what would 4 to the negative third be? 1/64. Okay, so the negatives aren't that tough. You can use a calculator to figure it out. You just want to type in 4 to the third, and since it's negative, you got to remember it's going to be a fraction. All right, so that's all it is today in today's lesson.
Wow!
Is simplifying anything to the 0 is always 1. and then doing these negatives. Oh, I should show you. The ones with the letters,
Oh. No.
what's x to the negative 4 gonna equal?
That's it.
1 x over
1 over
x to the
x to the 4th.
Okay.
So, anytime you've got a negative exponent, this is probably the easier way to remember it. If you've got a negative exponent and you want to make it positive, you just move it. You put it underneath. So, eventually we're going to have problems like this. 2 over x to the negative 3rd y. They're going to tell you to rewrite this with no negative exponents. So, all I'd have to do to make this a positive is move it. So you just move it up. So the 2 would stay on top, this would move up, and it would change to a positive exponent, and that would stay on the bottom. So that's all you got. That's the easiest thing to remember with negative exponents. If you want to make it positive, you just, if it's on top, you put it on the bottom. If it's on the bottom, you move it up to the top, and it changes from negative to positive. But now remember, it's only the exponent that changes, not the sign of the number. Okay?
Wow.
So, we've just got the easy ones to do today.